The horrifying laws of the Middle Ages. You think modern laws are harsh? Then travel back 800 years to a world where people were burned alive for eating meat on a Sunday, where the crime of speaking ill of the king was punished by having your tongue ripped out alive. Flash scenes, tongues of fire, iron chains, a shadowy throne. This isn't a horror movie. This is the truth of what once existed in human history. The Middle Ages, from the 5th to the 15th century, were dominated by two great powers: the church, the voice of God, and the king, the master of every life. When blind faith joins with absolute power, law no longer serves justice. It becomes a weapon forged to spread fear. The most insane laws of the Middle Ages. The trial by ordeal. If you were accused of theft, there was no fair trial. Instead, you were thrown into a lake. If you floated, you were guilty, for the water had rejected you. If you sank, you were innocent, but you drowned. Thousands of innocent people died because they believed that God Himself would choose who was guilty. The law against poverty. After the Black Death wiped out more than half of Europe's population, workers became scarce, and people demanded higher wages to survive. But the English king passed a law. Anyone who asked for more pay than before the plague would be imprisoned. In other words, if you were poor and wanted to live a better life, you broke the law of legal torture. In Germany and France, torture was legally allowed as a way to find the truth. Bodies could be stretched, feet burned, or limbs broken until the victim confessed, guilty or not. And the cruel irony, those confessions, forced through unbearable pain, were accepted as legal evidence. The law banning women from dressing beautifully. In some regions, lower-class women were forbidden to wear silk, gold, or elegant hats. If they disobeyed, their hair would be cut off, their clothes torn away, and they'd be displayed in the market for all to see. This law was designed to preserve social order, because in that world, only the nobles were allowed to be beautiful. The Witchcraft Acts. From the 14th to the 17th century, Europe fell into a frenzy of witch hunts. In Germany alone, more than 25,000 people, mostly women, were burned alive. If you practiced medicine, grew herbs, or simply lived alone, you could be accused and executed without proof. It was an age where fear ruled stronger than reason. The truth behind the laws. These brutal laws were not born from true faith, but from fear. Fear of losing power, fear of knowledge, fear of change. When people live in fear, they obey. And in obedience, power endures. The harsher the law, the smaller the human spirit became. That was the secret that kept the feudal order alive for centuries. The end. When we look back at the past, we realize freedom has never been free. History is not just made of victories and glory, but also of the darkness humans have created for one another. This is Untold History Hub. If you believe there are still countless stories left untold in history, leave your comment below. Which medieval law do you think was the most horrifying?